This episode of Unscripted is sponsored by Dubby. Dubby is a no-jitter energy drink mix that doesn't have that energy drink taste, and it gives me the energy to do YouTube and Twitch. You can get 10% off your order at WGG with code Krooked. There's a link in the description down below. Thanks, Dubby, for sponsoring this episode, and here's Unscripted. Hello everyone, I'm Krooked and I do stuff, and this is Unscripted, the series where I take a completely unscripted look at games and give it a 1 through 10 rating. Today, I am playing Trax FX for the Super Nintendo. This game is a game that I played a lot as a kid. If it was available to rent, there was almost a guarantee that I was picking up. Me and my brother and our friend who lived down the street, we all just loved this game. I would usually play as Slash, who's, you know, the most 90s main character to 90s. And yeah, it's basically just a biking racing game, and it's... At the time, the graphics of this were so awesome. I couldn't believe how cool this game looked. And of course, nowadays, it's not that spectacular. But yeah, let's talk about how this game stands the test of time. Because again, this was literally one of our favorite games. All of us played it all the time. And we just adored everything about it. So, let's talk about the graphics first, you know? Right now on the first level, and I don't think I realized this because even though I owned an NES growing up, I never had Excite Bike. This right now looks like 3D Excite Bike. That's pretty much all that it looks like. It doesn't have any special unique identity to itself other than you pick up the characters and you get to kind of, yeah, be in 3D. Also, can we point out, I'm pretty sure I've passed everyone a couple of times, but I'm still in second for some reason. Instead of being in first. Who's in first? How many times do I have to lap the people? Jeez. So, yeah, graphically, it looks kind of just like a 3D Excite Bike. For the time, having graphics like this, though, that's really impressive. Because you didn't have many games that had graphics like this, and... you know, the track's always moving, always changing, and it has the people in the background. It's displaying like a bunch of bikes at once. It honestly is a really, really pretty game. Oh, wow, that just killed my time. That being said, I don't think the graphics stand apart today versus anything that already exists. And that kind of holds back the game a little bit, because if you handed this to a kid today, they'd be like, why? And, unfortunately, that's kind of what happens with older games, is they don't always age that well. But there's other levels, and we'll discuss them a little bit when we get to them, but... You know, the scenery's pretty cool, and I like the smoke trails coming off of the bikes. It has some charm to it, but it is still not the prettiest of games. So I like the fountain over in the middle too. That's kind of cool. With that out of the way, how about controls? Y goes. And really, that's all that you need to know, is Y is how you go. I think the black and orange biker is the one in front of me. Wow, just slaughtering the track. I'm gonna find out. L and R can help you do short turns. and or not short turns, but more precise turns, because you can kind of turn easier. I'm pretty sure B is brake. It's not something that you'd really test in this, I don't believe. Yep, B is brake. I don't think X does anything. I don't think A does anything either. So basically just Y, B, L and R help you do tighter corners. So yeah, there's that, and pretty simple controls. Let's talk sound. There's not much for sound. It does sound pretty cool when, you know, the bikes hit each other a little bit. The music's kind of an amped up, kind of racing style theme, but I don't think it's going to be anything that you were like remembering past playing once. You're going to be like, oh, okay, you know, yeah, that game had music. And that's unfortunately kind of where it's at. It's not the most memorable thing, but it's not something that you're going to be upset about listening to. And that's kind of the three big basics of the game. Unfortunately, the character that you pick doesn't really translate much to the game, other than, you know, it shows them in the bottom left corner, and it changes your color on the bike you're on. But outside of that, it doesn't really do much else. In terms of difficulty, well, I mean, you saw it. T-Rex, or whatever his name is, absolutely slaughtered the race last time, and I didn't even get close to him. And looks like it's going to be more of that in this race. So it's a pretty difficult game, but you can play with your friends, and it's not just two-player, it's like multi-tap enabled. So if you happen to have the multi-tap back in the 90s, you could play with all of your friends. But I never knew anyone with the multi-tap, so I don't think that's a very viable thing. Yeah. So, Dirt Trax FX, is it fun? Yeah, it's probably more fun with friends, because, you know, then you can kind of compete. But other than that, it's honestly just a really basic racing game that has pretty solid controls that they're responsive, and they do what controls need to do. You can also, because I didn't mention it earlier, tilt like up or down as you go off of jumps, and you can kind of get air or handle the jumps a little bit nicer and kind of get some more speed that way. But overall, I think the laps are a bit too long, and the music doesn't vary enough to make it something where you're really, really going to memorize any of it. And by the end of some races, you might just be like, oh man, I'm so tired of this music. And I don't think anyone would be upset with that. So yeah, Dirt Trax FX, it's a good game. If you really like racing games, I'd give it a 5, because it's either going to be something that you really, really enjoy, or something that you're just like, yeah, that's not for me, and that's just how it's going to go. But you know, if you like racing games, definitely give it a try, because it is a pretty fun little game, especially if you have a friend to play with. So with that being said, comment down below, let me know what your favorite motorcycle racing game is, or if you like, you know, Dirt Trax FX, which is kind of like 3D Excitebike. Like this video if you enjoyed what you saw. Hit that subscribe button so that way you never miss out on an episode of Unscripted. And hit that notification bell so that way you'll be notified whenever a new episode comes out. With all that being said, I do want to thank you for watching Unscripted, and I will see you on the next episode. Bye!